Alright then, hello everyone and welcome to Brazil, where we are back after just having restarted the broadcast. Hopefully now we got a bit of audio going on. I don't know if we do, I'm just gonna have to check that real quick. Some rain reporting that I can be heard as well. Ah yes, I can, thank God. There was quite an easy problem to fix. Oh well, this is round 3 of NEF1 esports at Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix after a thrilling 2 races to start of the season, being won by Squidge and Tess respectively. Tess has taken a lead in the Drivers' Championship with his fantastic performance last week out with both sprint and feature race win, and now leads the championship by a handful of points over Squidge 2017 and Matty, tailing them with 2 consecutive P2s following the last 2 races. Ooh, so then that was a bit of a stressful start to the stream. I do apologize for the somewhat interrupted experience that everyone has had, but hopefully now we'll be back on track for the remainder of this broadcast. It's always ideal when you have stuff like this, always fantastic. For the first time this season, we have 20 cars on the grid. We have a full lineup and we welcome Ron Speed into the Alpine. An Alpine that has struggled a little bit throughout these first 2 races of the season, along with the Racing Bulls. They are P10 and P9 in the Constructors, if I am not mistaken. Looking ahead, we have a Constructors' Championship battle at the moment between Ferrari and Red Bull. McLaren just lagging behind a little bit. Not too bad though, still time to recover, but they've got to get those performances in quite quickly. Djokovic started the season horribly in Kota, rebounded very strong in Vegas, and now with a circuit that he's very familiar with as well, looking to continue that strong show of form into Brazil. A33 BT looking for his first points of the season. That was robbed away from him at last moment by Luna last weekend with the point for fastest lap going the way of the Alpine driver, currently sitting just behind A33 BT in P8. Mr. Wilco and Holman, decent season starts for both of them, and they have accumulated quite a handful of points. Worth pointing out as well, SFLY Jamar massively improved this season as well from what he was last season. Won't be long before he's equaled his points tally from last season. Currently on 25 points after just 2 races. That is strong performances by Jamar in that Ferrari, looking to make it 2 consecutive Constructors' Championships with Squidge 2017 for the Scuderia before we depart into the F1 26 expansion for F1 25, which is going to feel a little bit weird not having a new game, but it is what it is. 1980s Wildcat, a driver that certainly improved throughout last weekend. Let's see if he can keep that improvement momentum going and improve even further here in Brazil. One of the circuits that can throw a little bit of a surprise at you if you are not careful. As for Kit W41, still looking for his first points of the season. Racing Bull's first points of the season. And Marina jumps up to P13. Just looking to have a weekend not interrupted by connection issues. He sets a lap that is 0.02 of a second slower than Holman in P12. So that's a very good lap from Marina. Slightly better by Holman. So then we are on board with Kit W41 moment, going through that final sector. So crucial to get it right to both start a lap and finish off a lap. A lot of time to be lost in that final corner, a lot of time to be gained in the final corner as well, as Noah's placed his Aston Martin P5 with Luna in P6, Jamar now down to 7th place, and Djokovic in 8th, Max in 9th, and A33 beat in 10th. Kit goes up to P14. Decent lap from him. Needs to extract a couple of more attempts though to break it into that top 10, but that's definitely time that can be found. I shouldn't say anything. The best lap that I can manage at the moment was just about that 108.8, I believe I just said in the practice lobby earlier. It's a bit of a scruffy lap, but I didn't have much more pace in me. Maybe towards Marcus and A33 BT. Any more pace than that? Absolutely not, as Djokovic decides to get very acquainted with the inside wall coming out of the slowest corner on the circuit, and I'm sure he will not be the only one to do that this weekend. Very tricky corner to get out of, especially when you're starting to wear down those tires just a little bit. At a circuit where tire deck is relatively high as well in Interlagos. So here we go then, JMR on his next lap, and he just nibs the grass, and that'll send his car into a half spin straight onto the Astro, and that is that lap over and done with, and that is that set of tires absolutely over and done with. Ray W25 as well, having a significant improvement in terms of pace than what he's had these last couple of weekends. Ray, who struggled for points these previous 2 opening weeks, but now establishing himself in P4, just a couple of attempts behind Matty Adam 98, who is challenging for the championship, just showing how good that pace from Ray is. About 2 attempts clear of Noah and another attempt of Luna as well. So that is a strong performance by Ray, as Matty's coming up the line just now. See what he's going to be able to improve in his second run of this session. And it is P1 provisionally on a 107.797. Very, very close to Squidge, very close to Tess. The three are separated by, I was going to say half a tenth of a second, until Squidge went ahead and ruined everything, as he always does, with a 107.556. Spectacular lap that from the reigning NEF1 champion. But now let's hope then that Tess can just reel that in a little bit and give us a proper fight. Tess overall this season has been the quickest of the 3, but just got a bit unlucky in Kota, and there were moments in Vegas where Squidge and Matty were on him, but when Tess was able to check out, as that is Tess out of contention, nibs a wheel in that grass that we just saw JMR do, and that is Tess significantly hindered in this championship battle. The crucial thing for Tess is that 107.828 might just be good enough to see him remain in P3. It's now up to Ray and Noah to improve by another 2 attempts to get ahead of him. That's going to be Ray's target number 1 now, is get ahead of Tess. It's be crucial for Matty in the Drivers' Championship as well to gain a couple of points on him. A Matty that is the most successful driver around Brazil in NEF1 history, with I believe 5 or 6 wins around this particular circuit. He has been very, very good around here in the past, claiming I believe 4 wins in a row now. The streak is up to, so it's impressive stuff. 5 wins in a row maybe even from Matty. Tess just says wow in amazement almost to how much he lost control of the car there. That is Tess out of qualifying, and I believe the first type of DNF. I believe it's the first type of DNF we've seen for Tess in well over a season, if I'm not mistaken. I might just be. That's caused by some sort of incident, at least. I know there was a technical DNF in Brazil last week. Oh, sorry, last season, not last week. Last season was a technical DNF that was due to malfunctioning equipment, and that is what actually handed Squidge 2017 the championship in the least spectacular way possible, as Squidge went on to finish the race in plumb last, almost a lap down as well, I believe, as well. And it was maybe the most unworthy crowning of a champion for a very, very worthy champion that we've ever had. Here we go then, Luna rounds that very, very tricky hairpin. They saw Djokovic into the wall just a couple of minutes ago, but Luna manages it nicely. Up at P7, what is she going to be able to do for the second sector? Not too much. Not improving, and she's not going to be improving on this lap. Invalidated and straight into the pit lane. So then, Djokovic just hanging on to the fringes of the top 10. Makis is not far behind, neither is Mr. Wilco. Djokovic, though, is going to come through for an improvement, and a decent improvement nonetheless. It is a 108.372, puts him straight up to P6, just on the fringes of his teammate Makis, though. Slaps it in to a 108.255. Makis, one hell of an improved driver in that Mercedes this season, and it is brilliant to see. As we got some friendly banter going on between the championship contenders currently in the Discord regarding Tess's little DNF there that I really wish we got a replay of, because it was a spectacular crash indeed. Mr. Wilco out on circuit, so is Reina, the two we're keeping track of. Everyone else in the pit lane just waiting for about that 3-minute stop before you start coming out of the pit lane. A couple of people coming out a bit earlier though, just want that clear track position. So then we have Mr. Wilco and Reina currently out. not really in a competitive lap though. Is Wilco not a competitive lap from Reina? Iverse! What is that? That's the slowest speed incident I think we've ever had in any F1. That is very, very weird from Reina, whatever happened just then. Very, very weird. You would imagine into the pit lane, but is there time to get out again? I'd be surprised. 2:50 to go. There might just be enough time. Might just be enough time. It'll be getting quite close. We have a couple of people on out laps. I believe that is one Kit W41, and I have a vested interest in seeing him score points once again in this league. So let's follow along with this qualifying lap. Kit, can he make it into the top 10? He needs to improve by about 5 tenths of a second. Not an impossibility. We'll see what he's able to do after Sector 1. It's a decent run through the NSs, but in Sector 2 you can really find the big seconds. He is improving through Sector 1, and there's a glitchy turn 4, but glitchy doesn't mean slow. Hopefully that was quicker than it looked, because from our POV it looked very, very weird indeed. Racing Bulls is a treat to watch as well. See if we get that pink Racing Bulls in a couple of days as well, when it's been released on the Podium Pass. Oh, not the Podium Pass, sorry, the Survival Challenge. See if we might get a glimpse of that white Red Bull as well for Tess and Iwatts. As Kit's improving by 2.5 tenths of a second. It's not quite good enough though. Needs to just find a little bit more time, but he's only going to have this lap. Not going to have time to do a cool down lap at the end of this, I'm pretty sure. Picks up a little bit of a slipstream from the Ferrari ahead. He'll be quite thankful. He improves up to P14, but not quite enough for the top 10. He's not far off. Solid improvement there from Kit, as Noah now is just sniffing at that 107.8 from Tess and wants to get out ahead of the Red Bull, but it's a steep improvement for him to make. The Ferrari gets nice and tidily out of the way there. Noah coming up to the Sector 2 split. What is he going to be able to do in that Aston Martin? Luna as well on a flyer just behind him, I believe. Now it's improving by 10.5, but it's not quite good enough unless he has a spectacular run out of this final corner. It's not going to be enough, but it might be enough to challenge Ray for that 4th place. Ray will suddenly pay our eye on, maybe even more than Matty and Squidge. Noah moves up into P4. Where is Ray on track? He is behind Matty, who is challenging for pole position. He's improving by about 1/10 of a second for the first sector alone. Squidge is improving, but not by much. He picks up a slipstream of the Alpine, though. That is going to be the absolute worst nightmare for Matty. He improves only by 17 thousandths. Matty going through the Sector 2 split in not too long. Is he going to be able to challenge here, or is it going to be Squidge 2017 on pole position for the Brazilian Grand Prix? Here we go, only a couple of more corners to go. One braking zone to go. It's flat through this left-hander, and how much battery does Matty have left to play with? He is rapid around here as Matty rounds the final corner then, and now it's one long DRS straight down into the start-finish line. Is it going to be Matty on pole position? You wouldn't bet against him at this stage. It is going to be Matty on provisional pole. He loses quite a bit of time in the 3rd sector, but it is just enough to carry him over the line. Noah remains 4th. Ray just improves a little bit, but not quite enough. Djokovic improves across the line with Max in 7th, Luna in 8th. Is Holman going to be able to do anything about that? He'll be almost next across the line, along with Ray now jumps up into P8. Holman remains P10 and A33 beat. He's improving by a couple of tenths so far. Is he going into pit lane, or is he completing this lap? He's usually quite a good indicator of how it's been. He's completed a lap. What is a BT going to be able to deliver here? It's going to be P10 for Mr. BT, and his first top 10 qualifying result of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Djokovic rebounds strong here. Max and Reina, good performance from them. Luna in P9 and A33 BT in 10th. Jamar, disappointing qualifying for him in the end. Looked strong to begin with, wasn't able to improve on that. P12 for the Ferrari man. Wigan in 13th, Wilco in 14th, with Kid in 15th, Iwatts in P16, followed by Recon, Wildcat, Ron Speed, and Darren Style rounding out the field. But we have a separation over 20 cars of 1.7 seconds. Very, very tight here in Brazil as we're heading into the race, which will be a spectacular Grand Prix indeed. So, no one ready up on the grid. Once we get there, it'll trigger an automatic quali ban. We shall wait and see what happens for the Brazilian Grand Prix that is about to get underway any moment soon. Matty Adam takes pole position over Squidge 2017 by 22 thousandths of a second. Tess is lining it up third on the grid. Matty, he needs a result here in Brazil to really solidify his championship challenge. Will it come in Brazil where he's done it so many times before? I wouldn't bet against him. We will be right back in a couple of minutes time to bring you full coverage of the Brazilian Grand Prix, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 5 minutes time. As there we go, we are ready on the grid for the formation lap for the Brazilian Grand Prix, where we have Matti starting on pole position from Squidge 2017 in that red and white Ferrari, with Tess holding on to P3 there after a dramatic incident in qualifying that saw him out at about the halfway mark. He was sat there hoping that none of the likes of Noah, Ray or Djokovic was going to be able to get ahead of his lap time, and none was. P3, not too much damage done there for Tess. However, he probably would have liked to start maybe a position or two higher than that. Max in P7 and Marina in P8. There's a very, very solid qualifying effort for both the Mercedes. That's a team in harmony this season, it feels like. Followed by Luna in A33 BT. Holman in P11, followed by Jamer in 12th. Wigan in 13th, and Mr. Wilco in 14th place. Kit, P15, but solidly improving. Iwat, difficult qualifying session for him. He starts P16, followed by Recon, Wildcat. Difficult evening for both the Williams. Ron Speed and Darren Style is currently stuck on the grid. So then, as for the tyre strategy, it's going to be crucial around here. Everyone almost starting on the medium tyres apart from Ray, Wigan, Wilco and Iwas. They are starting on the hards for this Grand Prix, but it's not going to be too much of a surprise that most people are going to be doing a two-stop strategy around here. It's usually been a meta in league racing. We'll see if anyone tries to stick it out in one stop, or if the two-stop is the way to go, as it has been before. Not long ago now since we did this race in the league last season out, that season 10, so only a couple of weeks ago, give it about 2-3 months maybe. So everyone's going to have it quite fresh in memory. Matty lines it up on pole, Squidge alongside him in that black and gold helmet, looks very, very good indeed. With Tess in P3 and the rest of the field already lining it up for the third Grand Prix of the season, the first absolute banging track of the season. It is the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos, and we have 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights on, away we go, and the Ferrari gets away very, very well on the inside. Matty might just have to cover him off down the inside, though, into turn 1. We're following the completely wrong battle for whatever reason. I don't know why that's happened. There we go. As Matty is maintained lead into turn 1, sorry. Ahead of Squidge, Noah and Djokovic up in position. Something's happened to A33 BT. It's always BT in turn 1. It's been the same through the last 3 races, and Ray is out of this Grand Prix, and we have a safety car. What has happened to our dear friend Ray? He is out in the middle of the track as well. The clear safety car. Ray, his tough luck to start off the season, it continues here in Brazil. After an incident, after only 4 corners, we have a safety car. Matty got away well on the start. He's going to be a bit under pressure on the restart, but be able to control that in a very, very different way. Matty good at restarts as well. Looking at the big gainers and the big losers, got to have a look at both Kit and Recon up 4 and 5 positions each. 2 big losers, obviously, A33 BT and Ray W25. Ray, who was quite high up in the initial launch phase. What happened to Ray caused him to DNF this early on? Did he have a bad start, get mixed up in the midfield, or what quite happened to the McLaren driver? A McLaren team right now that are suffering in the Constructors' Championship, not being able to carry the load with one driver alone, not putting any blame on that on Ray for this incident. Lap 1, shit unfortunately happens relatively early. BT is into the pit lane. You would imagine he'll still have to come in at least once again this race. We're only on lap 2 out of 36. It's an instant safety car in this Grand Prix, as Matty has picked up that safety car. And now it's one big train all the way down to 1980s Wildcat, who is one of a few drivers who has maintained position apart from that top 4. As once again we have Reina, who has left the session, so luck on getting him an invite. The internet issues continue for our dear friend Reina, and he'll be fuming with that after the race, I can assure you of that. So then, Matty, Squidge and Tess is the race leaders at the moment. Noah and Djokovic in the Aston Martins 4th and 5th. And Marina up a couple of positions, so is Luna. Mac is down 1, Holman and Jamar up 2 respectively. And then we have Kit now just on the fringes of the points in P11. As you can see there on the shot on the left hand side, only 1 pit stop so far. It's come from Mr. Beatty. So then we're looking at a restart in about 1 lap's time. I'm thinking before we get that restart done, shouldn't be anything interesting that happens over the course of this lap. Let's just have a look at the Drivers' Championship whilst we await anything further. And as we can see on screen, Tess is leading the championship on 52 points to Squidge's 46 and Matty's 40. So a race win here for Matty will bring him right into contention. Not into the lead unless Tess and Squidge lose quite a handful of points, both of them. Jamar then down a couple of points in P4 and 25 ahead of Noah on 24 and Holman on 19 is really the battle for the top 5. I'm looking at the Constructors' Championship battle, and right now that has destabilized even further for McLaren. Ferrari and Red Bull still with 2 cars in this race. However, only Ferrari with 2 cars in the points, and Jamar is scoring only 1 of them at the moment, so it's not a guarantee of a massive points haul so far. So it's a sad ending to race evening then, after putting in a very, very good qualifying position. We'll have 1 more race to go before we end the racing year and go into a Christmas break. Matty Adam will be controlling the pace on this restart, as I've got to invite Marina once again. It'll be... There we go. As we are on board with Matty Adam, as I believe Squidge just wanted him to go there. Looked like it. When is Matty going to decide to pull the trigger? He goes relatively early still, but he gets a massive jump on Squidge 2017 and Tess behind him. Tess, who has followed Squidge relatively well now, might have a look down the inside. Nah, he's too far back to make a diving move. They're so good on the brakes, these guys. You can't pull any sort of a diving move on them into a corner like that. And we have someone losing quite a handful of positions by the look of things. That'll be Reina, who's still ghosted. Luna up to P6 then, but 1.7 seconds behind Djokovic already, who is pushing Noah for position around here. They're battling for P4 within Aston Martin. But Matty has gone away with the restart, and now they have a little bit of a gap down to Luna, who'll be poised to make up that time very, very quick. Without DRS here, you're going to lose time, and you're going to lose quite a bit of it. We'll wait and see in a lap or two if Luna can do anything about that gap. As there we go, Reina has been able to regain control of his car and stop the bleeding, crucially enough, for the Mercedes. Wiggins up to P13, Ron Speed is up to P12, so a decent start from him. Nice and quiet, but up a couple of positions indeed. A couple of positions still behind his teammate though. Jamar up in the top 10 now, P9 for the Ferrari man, currently sitting in 4th in the standings. As then the battle for the top 5 has emerged. Luna's been able to hold that gap in, is now within a second and within DRS range. That is brilliant from Luna, did everything she had to when she had to, and has recovered the start somewhat. I don't know how she ended up 1.7 behind Djokovic there after basically on the corner. Might have been a little battling going on there. So we're following Recon in his battle with Jamar and iWatts at the moment. Ron Speed coming up behind iWatts. Very, very close now. 0.3 of a second separated two. See what Ron Speed is going to be able to do, how aggressive he's going to be playing this. iWatts approaching the hairpin, one of a few places on this circuit where you can really make a diving move down the inside. Otherwise, it's mostly DRS passes around here, but don't come too easy. Usual strategy in league racing around here has been to wait until after the SNSs and attack into turn 4. I believe Matty's being attacked right now by Squidge, who will have learned that strategy. as Iwat has not learned their strategy and goes by into turn 1. We have Ron Speed diving it down the inside. That's very aggressive from Ron Speed. Now let's see if Squidge is going to be putting a move on Matty. Tries to round the outside. He's going to be able to get that done. No, Matty covers it off beautifully. He absolutely intends to make it, I believe, a 6th win in a row around Brazil. If I'm not mistaken, which I am. But a lot of wins in a row around here for Matty Adam already. He's looking to make it even one further. Matty, definitely one of the drivers who enjoys this circuit the most. Along with a Saudi Arabia, which unfortunately his fortune's not been as good around there. Which I'm sure he would class his absolute favorite track in the game. He's been very, very unfortunate there on a number of occasions, actually, to lose, well, number 1 a championship and also at least a race win. And in the end, maybe a championship battle as well. Who knows? Who knows? It doesn't matter now. Matty Adam and Squidge are going to go at it again into turn 1. I believe this time Squidge is going to have the inside line into turn 1. Lock up for Matty Adam, who tries to hold the outside, and now Squidge is going to be able to attack. No, he's not. Gets a massive snap of oversteer, and that is going to allow Tess to go right by the Ferrari. And that's everything the Squidge didn't need. Now stuck in a little bit of a DRS train, hard to do anything from P3 than P2, and Tess is going to be able to attack the current leader of this race. Noah doing everything he can to stick with these guys, knowing full well if he loses DRS, he'll lose track of them. Djokovic has slightly just lost DRS. I'm sure Noah will just try to back up a little bit, try to keep his teammate in contention, also protecting himself if he does that as well. So we have yellow flags in Sector 2. That's Recon who's had an issue and is out of this race, Recon, after an incident where his car is still driving about, which is quite interesting. Don't know how that's happened then. If he's not retired through damage, has he potentially got stuck in a gravel trap or something there? Team just on left on the escape road there. As here we go then, Tess around the outside of Matty Adam into turn 4, and not going to be able to make that work. And Matty's solid in defense so far. No way past the McLaren. Tess is going to try a bit of an unusual route, maybe around the outside into 5. Not going to work either. As Holman in a moment is a driver on the move. He has gotten past Luna, he's gotten past Max on the start, he's gotten past Jamer on the start, I believe, as well. Now he has his eyes set on a 3-time NEF1 World Champion, and maybe a champion to be someday in NOAH 48. We'll have to wait and see on that. Still chasing his first win this... I was going to say this season, it would be right as well, but still chasing his first race win is NOAH 48. Something that is very, very hard to come by these days. There's a lot of competition for it. Matty, Tess and Squidge at the moment hold a monopoly on the podium places this season. No one else has gotten one, and by the look of things, that might just continue on tonight. We'll wait and see. The surprise podiums of last season might just have been gone this season, as Tess is going to try a sweeping approach around the outside of Matty, who again plays his car beautifully. There's no way past the McLaren at the moment. Beautiful defense, beautiful attack from Tess, but just not quite enough to force his way by, as we have a 33 BT who's forced his way past Wigan in the Haas. A Wigan who was originally scheduled to be in that Racing Bulls before a couple of last-minute changes put him into the Haas instead. Originally had him planned for Racing Bulls. Believe I had BT in Alpine as well for a bit of NEF1 alternate reality, if you will. So here we go, and another go, and Squidge is nearing the back of Tess now. Maybe gonna try around the Senna SS. Lockup from Matty yet again. Seemingly a bit uncomfortable around the brakes. Run speed, freezing time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. And a couple of people into the pit lane already. That is Luna and Jamar, not quite fancying the tyres, and Matt is still holding on to the lead of Grand Prix. They're being ferociously challenged now for the entirety of this race. Darren, 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and Reina on the back of Ron Speed, quite able to make that work. As this type of battling now for Matty, Tess and Squidge really is allowing both Noah, Djokovic and Holman to stick with him. Marcus is trying his best, 1.2 behind, then there's a big gap down to Iwatts in 8th, who again has just had a quiet start to the race, but he's gaining his positions. He's doing a very, very good job, is Iwatts this season, kind of in a similar way that Jamar has been, of just keeping it quiet, not too flashy at all, not too many visible overtakes, but he's just getting everything done, progressing up the order and scoring his points. Brilliant season from both Iwatts and Jamar at the moment. Really rebound to maybe some of the best NEF1 form to date. Obviously it'll be hard for both of them, both multiple time race winners in NEF1. So it'll be hard to top that, as Matty has finally been top just for a brief moment, as Tess was able to claim the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix, but Matty just gets it back on the exit. It is very, very hard to overtake here today, at least if you are driving a Red Bull or a Ferrari, at least the Ferrari and Red Bull of Tess and Squidge. So Iwatts at the moment has been making a couple of moves. Jamar will be having to make a couple of moves in this next stint. So then as we're following him, Reina along with his battle with Ron Speed. Ron Speed making his return to NEF1 today after the first time in a long time. So welcome him back into the league. We also wish Tess, the driver in P2 at the moment, a very, very happy birthday and what I believe is his 20th. Hope you have had a brilliant one and best of luck to you for the remainder of the race. Yellow flags in Sector 3. What has gone on there? That is a certain 1980s Wildcat who's had some sort of issue going through the last corner, pulled over a little bit to let a Ferrari go. That's Jamar, and is Wildcat potentially coming into the pit lane. Now the damaged front wing, maybe a couple of bruised tires there, and gets very, very close to that pit limit speed. Answered beautifully a 1980s Wildcat, and into the pit lane, and you would imagine another set of medium tires going on perhaps. Starting to be split between hards and mediums. Wildcat hard tires going on actually. Not what I would do, but then again I don't know too much. Yellow flags in Sector 2 now. We have another yellow flag. It's one of the Racing Bulls. It is Kit W41, who might have just had a bit of an excursion looking at his front left tire there. They've just been into the grass for a little bit. Recovering decently now, being chased down by Luna's Ron Speed has left the session. Work on getting him back. So I don't have my friends list. Well, means he's not accepted my friends invite. There's nothing I can do about it so far. Ron Speed, make sure to accept my friend invite, then I can give you an invite back into the lobby. So Matty Adam currently sitting in P1 still, ahead of Tess and Squidge. Are they perhaps going to try to one-stop this race? You'll have to bring it into about lap 16, maybe 14, to think about a one-stop. The two-stop usually a bit quicker around here, which Matty's taken advantage of in the past. What has happened to Djokovic? He's lost a couple of places to Holman and Makis. Surely he's not made a pit stop yet. No, he's not. So a little bit of mistake there somewhere from Djokovic as Ron Speed continues to move backwards. A33 BT feeling like he wants a piece of that point paying positions. So then, here we go, finally, maybe a move that's collected. I was about to say, just switching to collected as the two went side by side, rubbing wheels there ever so slightly. Here we go, Tess round the outside of Matti, potentially through turn 4. Has the better straight line speed. Matti just covers the inside again. Matti looked like he was down and out there in turn 1, but somehow he just recovers it and keeps position once more. Once more is able to keep position there in a very, very, very impressive way. Matti is putting up a defensive masterclass at the moment in Brazil. Unlike anything we've really seen before with these regulation of cars, very hard to really defend. But Matti's doing a very good job of it. The question is, can he keep this up for another 22 laps? If he does, might be one of his better drives to date. As Maka sitting in P7, chasing down Djokovic, one piece of that Aston Martin. Another additional couple of points, up from 6 to 8, I believe. As Noah then comes into the pit lane. So what is going on that first Aston Martin? Djokovic is continuing on another lap. Ideally, Djokovic probably want to get rid of those tires first, but Noah maybe just then trying to pull some sort of an undercut, if possible, on Squidge, Tess, and Matti. That might force the race leaders into some kind of a response. So then, Noah on this lap is going to be coming out behind both Alpines, one of which is ghosted. So Luna is going to be passing right through her ghosting team at a run speed. Noah is not going to be overly interrupted by him either, so he'll be quite happy. He can just push on now, maybe force the race leaders into action. Is Matti going to be pulling the trigger then? Lap 15 out of 36. What went on for Noah? I believe it was hard tires. Yes, it was. Might he be trying to go to the end here? Matti, you don't want to be the first one to pull the trigger when you're leading the race, but you quite usually have to. Matti is coming in. Tess is not coming in. Squidge is coming in though. Tess just bolted out of the pit lane, crossing the white line. There's a bit cocky from Tess, really staying out in that type of manner. He might have just tricked Squidge into the pit lane though. We'll wait and see. Where will the race leaders come out in regards to Noah's just on the start-finish line now? Let's see. It's a slow pit lane entry here. Noah might just be competing with them. Actually, it's not anywhere near, really. It's Noah. My mistake. I was looking at the wrong drive. Wait. Hold on, why is Squidge so far behind Matti? What happened to Squidge to push him down that long? Is Luna and Matti now doing battle side by side with each other? Is this for position? It would be, as Luna and Matti make contact. Luna ends up worst off trying to battle Matti, who is the provisional race leader. Didn't Luna start? No, she's made her pit stop. Luna really fighting that position hard. Matti Adam, 10-second time penalty for corner cutting, gaining 1 place. As long as he's not served in the pit lane, will be investigated after the race and most likely removed throughout that battle with Luna. We can take that into account. But that forces Matti onto a 1-stop strategy now. If he has to pit again, he will have to be stationary for 10 seconds. That has compromised Matti's race in all sorts of ways. Here we go then. Tess, might he be able to capitalize on that battle with Luna? You would imagine he can, and yes he can. Tess emerges in the lead of this Grand Prix ahead of Matti Adam. Just a 33 BT and iWatts up the road now, but that is a long way to go. With his 2 Red Bull cars ahead of him, might they just help him out a little bit and hold Matti Adam 98 back? That 10-second time penalty could now prove crucial. Matti's going to be fuming with having received that penalty. As to how it happened, I'm not quite so sure. Squidge now under a bit of pressure as well, losing a position to both Noah, Luna, and Matti, losing quite a bit of time. Here we go then. Tess pushes his way through a BT, so does Matti. Might Matti just be able to attack Tess straight back again in turn 1? Tess struggled an awful lot getting past Matty Adam. Can Matty Adam get past Tess immediately? Yes, he can. Matty, the master of wheel-to-wheel driving right now around Brazil. It took Tess an awful lot of tries to get by Matty. It took Matty one try to get by Tess. He is a driver well and truly on a charge here in Brazil as we're halfway through this Grand Prix now. Might Matty be able to make that one stop work? Is Tess going to be trying to put Matty under pressure? He knows now that Matty can't do anything with that 10-second time penalty, no matter what happens, no matter if it gets removed. Tess now holds the advantage of being able to do a couple of things differently strategic-wise. He's not been able to pass Matty so far whilst on the same tyre. Is Tess potentially going to try to split his strategy here, or is he banking on that 10-second time penalty, perhaps sticking? We shall wait and see. Sai Watts then leads this race. Right now you would imagine he's praying for a safety car, a driver who's not going to want a safety car for the remainder of this race. That's Matty. Let me assure you of that. Luna is off the circuit, I believe, battling a BT and coming back. BT gets forced off track. Luna, A33 BT Squidge is involved as well. It's a big crash in turn 1. It's affected our championship contender, Squidge 2017. It's taken Luna out of contention. Did it affect Djokovic as well as one of the Mercedes? It's hard to tell from that angle. Will be investigated after the race, that's for sure. It's one of the bigger incidents of this race so far, and it has caused a massive deficit now for Squidge 2017, and it is a miracle to be able to fight for this win. Maybe of a safety car split strategy. 3-second time penalty to A33 BT. That is an incident that will be investigated after the race, and everything right now goes wrong for A33 BT. I'm quite sure was involved in that as well. No front wing end plates on that car. Be straight into the pit lane for BT, and the man who was caught taken out in turn 1 on both previous races done so again this race, and now another incident in turn 1, this time on lap 20, not lap 1 at least, but it forced him into a front wing change, and this season just will not improve for BT. Wiggin is going to be taking that position, saying thank you very much, and Kit now with a bit of pressure on him needs to find some sort of way to score points, but it's an awful long way up to those points. It's about 17 seconds to Djokovic in P10. It's not easy to overtake a driver of that caliber. Difficult now for Racing Bull to score any points apart from maybe the fastest lap point. Wilco must be said is suffering a really tough race for his standards as well. After the last season and a half he's had, now sitting back in 16th place. It's not ideal for him at all. So Van Mack is now on the back of Jamar. Matty and Tess keep battling away with each other side by side into turn 1. Matty just holding on to that position yet again. And Tess now, he's significantly closer than he has been before. How much can he sacrifice off that battery to get ahead? Matty sticks it down the inside. Tess just tries to run him a bit out of road, and finally he gets that move done. Matty though immediately on him, trying to put pressure on Tess, but this time the Red Bull emerges victorious from that battle, and now it is crucial that Matty gets back ahead within the next 15 laps. He's got to play this smart though, doesn't want to invite Noah, Holman and Squidge into the conversation really, wants to keep this battle alone with Tess. The problem for Matty now is there's a certain Iwatts ahead of both of them who would do very well to just slow Matty down a little bit through Sector 2. That might just gift the win in Brazil here to Tess and make it 3 out of the last 3 race finishes, counting a sprint should be said. So we shall wait and see then. It's in a perfect position as well for the 2 Red Bulls to swap, and I was maybe to just back Matty up a little bit. Matty's going to be very aware of that and the risk of it happening. Here we go then, it's the switch between the Red Bulls quite early. Iwas, though, is going to park it on the apex of turn 4, trying to block Matty off, who tries to switch back him. It does so beautifully. Caught Iwas completely unaware. Did Matty Adam. He loves that type of switchback. Here comes Iwas down the inside, but he doesn't have the tires to do it. Matty, he is brilliant in those types of situations. He loves a good little switchback, and he did so in a crucial moment of the Grand Prix as well. Had he not gotten that move done, Iwas is not accelerating through these couple of corners, and Tess is 2-3 seconds maybe down the road. Now, though, that battle continues. Iwas, how long is he going to stay out on his set of hard tires before inevitably having to come in to the pit lane? Sure, he's just waiting for a safety car that is less and less likely to emerge here as we're entering the final stages of the race. He's done his job. Now then, into the pit lane and a 13-lap stint on mediums to see out the race. So Iwas is going to be relatively racy. The problem for Iwas is he's going to be coming out just ahead of Wigan, you would imagine. So he's not going to be able to do too much with his very, very racy tyres unless he can catch up to the back of Moreno, Djokovic and Jamar. It's a big tyre discrepancy around this track, so it's not impossible, but he'll have to go very, very fast in order to catch up to them. We'll see how they slow each other down. They're carried along, though, by a Macus right now who's doing relatively well. Squidge on the back of Holman and Noah, trying to recover up to a podium place. Noah just sniffing his first podium of the season so far. Right now, this is actually not doing Matty too bad regardless, because the gap is 7 seconds. So even if Matty's 10-second time penalty was to stand, right now he might just finish in P2 regardless with the amount of laps left that we have. So then, not too much going on at the back. Ron Speed still out of this session. 1980s Wildcat running a race of its own, and Dan Style was poised to have a difficult time here, from what I could tell, talking to him ahead of the Grand Prix, and he's looking to have a difficult time here indeed. Here we go then. Noah's made some sort of mistake, I believe, or has been overtaken twice on a straight. As here we go then, Squidge forced his way by Holman, and now up in P3, clean air, and I believe he might just be able to take away. Did Squidge have any front wing damage through that incident? No, and he's quite lucky to not have, so it's not a circuit this where you want to have any type of damage on your car. He just about got away with that incident with Luna on about lap 20, I believe. About 5 laps ago now. 2 retirees from this Grand Prix so far is Recon and Ray. Let's just have a look at positions gained. And right now Holman's running a mega race. So it's Tess up from 3rd to 1st, and Jamar is up from subpar qualifying position to P7 yet again. He's just recovering everything so far, Jamar. He's getting everything out of that machinery, and Iwas into the points as well after a mediocre qualifying performance. They're going down in 16th place, already up into the points in P10, but he might just stay there. Iwas has a tendency to find himself running a race of his own, but it's a point pickup regardless. I don't think he'll mind too much. Jamar then into the pit lane for his second stop of the evening. So here we go, Matty is nearing Tess now, within 0.3 of a second at one point there as they came to the braking zone of turn 4, now through 5, 6 and 7. And when is Matty gonna decide to start attacking Tess and then launch his final defense? We saw Matty was able to put up a hell of a defense earlier on, as Djokovic's just been able to get by Moreno then nice and cleanly. Moreno having to cede that position, doing so very, very well. It's a nice helmet that from Moreno as well. I must say I'm a big fan of the colours, but and again I usually would be. As Djokovic right now running in P7 with Noah in 5th. Mac is with a bit of breathing room, 1.8 seconds down to Djokovic now with 10 laps to go. Can he hold on to that? As Matty within 1/10 of a second almost of Tess now. So can Matty start pulling a job on Tess here? How defensive is Tess gonna go? Matty has been the best at wheel-to-wheel battle in this race so far. Is he gonna make that around the outside? Nah, just barely. He has to watch those track limit warnings as well. 3-second time penalties He cannot afford to pick up any. I don't think he has yet. We'll check that out actually. It's just a 10-second, which, as said, can be removed. So the question is, if you're Tess now, Matty will be forced to stay out on hard tyres. Do you, if you're Tess, if you're feeling just a lack of confidence, risk it and put on a set of maybe mediums to the end? Or will that one stop just prove too difficult to beat this evening? Will Tess try to do something different, or does he believe in his ability to keep Matty behind him? Matty is just looking a bit more aggressive in side-by-side action right now than Tess is. Tess playing it really defensive so far, but he's going to be doing this for another 10 laps, and I'll be saying the same thing as Matty. It's a long way to go to play it defensive. But it is a Matty right now suffering in the dirty air of the Red Bull as well, and his tyres are going to be taking a beating as a result of it. Noah's lost position to Holman. It's a P5 and 6, sorry, right now. Sorry, he's not lost position to Holman. Djokovic's gained one on Morena. That's why the 5th and 6th and not 5th and 7th as they were a couple of laps ago. I covered that overtake from Djokovic on Morena as well, and I am slowly turning very senile potentially, as Darren Style is retired from this race, heading into the pit lane, I believe. And now that has triggered that safety car. Worst case scenario for Matty Adam, Darren retires on the pit entry, I believe. And now, surely if you're Tess, you're diving into the pit lane. If you're Matty, you can't. And this is going to cost Matty a lot. 10 seconds is his stationary time. He is forced to stay out now on those hard tyres. Tess will box. Squidge, you would imagine, will box as well. Matty, could he maybe have boxed to serve that time penalty? Potentially. He is banking on someone staying out and getting ahead of these guys so he can start building a gap. No one will, and Matt will be rejoined with Tess immediately behind him. This is a massive problem now for Matty Adam. He'll have one lapped car in between them. He'll be obliged to get out of the way immediately. That is a 33 BT who's caught the back of that safety car pack. He'll be obliged to get out straight away, which he will do as well, seeing how he's fighting for last place at the moment. Tess on medium tyres, Squidge on brand new hard tyres as well. That's brought him back into play beautifully. Matty, should he maybe have sacrificed one position to Squidge in order to fight for the win in a different way here? Now, with a 10-second time penalty that he then is banking on it being removed, otherwise he would not be staying out in this situation. Now, it is a massive defensive job. It is a massive defensive job now for Matty Adam for the remaining laps of this race. Tess, brand new rubber. Squidge, brand new rubber as well. Everyone behind will have brand new tyres, and Matty might be an open hunting ground here on 13 lap old hards. This'll be a challenge for the man, with that 10-second time penalty ruining so much. Otherwise it's a straight pit stop for Matty, mind you. It is straight into the pit lane without that 10-second time penalty. He couldn't without losing position. Oh, and I hate the game. I hate the game issuing penalties like that I'm relatively certain of being faulty already, and affecting a race in a way like this. Anyways, that's besides the point. That's the name of the game, and it could have happened to anyone. Now Matty will have to defend for his life. The question is, how will he do it? He's relied on better traction and just a bit more aggression than everyone else. Tess and Squidge will be pouncing on this like no tomorrow. That's how you win championships. You don't win them by being fair. You win them by taking advantage of every single opportunity that you possibly can. Matt will be fully aware of that, as he has done the same on many an occasion. Holman and Noah now, P4 and P5, maybe just sniffing a podium place here. Jamar would love a podium here as well. maybe the driver so far this season most worthy of one, looking at previous results. Djokovic hasn't been on the podium in a while. He'd also love to end up there, followed by Marina, Iwatts and Luna. Now that's opened up the battle for the points as well. But then a couple of people not having caught up to the safety car as of yet. The last one to do so will be 1980's Wildcat, is still on the other side of the track. So we might have another lap of safety car after this. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Matty Adam. The farther he'll fall initially. But we'll look at where he finishes on track to begin with. I'll have to announce the race winner anyways as the guy who finishes in first. But keep in mind that 10-second time penalty, and with Matty doing this type of strategy, you would imagine he's quite certain that is going to be removed. As then Wildcat pushing to catch up to the back of that pack. I'm sure Matty would love the safety car to just go a little bit faster as to not come in at the end of this one. I don't think it will. It'd be a very, very late call in. The safety car is coming in this lap. Maybe one lap too early for Matty. Here we go then. Mr. ABT in P2 will have to get straight out of the way to allow the top three to battle this out. Matty, Tess and Squidge is the fight that we are going to have for the championship this season, almost without a shadow of a doubt. Now, how does Matty play this? Seriously disadvantaged on tyres. Is there anything he's going to be able to do? He gets a jump on Tess. That is so crucial. Tess now picks up a little bit of a slipstream on Beat. He'll have to let them go quite quickly, and he does so. Now then, the chase can begin, and you can just see those tyres working with so much more grip. And this might just be game over for Matty before it's even begun. 8 attempts went down to 4 attempts in a single corner. Iwatts, 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flag. Will be investigated after the race. Here we go then. This is not going to be possible for Matty at all. There's too big of a tyre discrepancy. He should have come into pit even with the pain of that 10-second time penalty. There's nothing he can do about it now though. Too little, too late. Surely Tess is going to be able to snatch that position away from him. Here we go then. Is it going to be Matty? Is it going to be Tess? Or is it going to be Squidge? Tess right on the back of Matty Adam out of every single corner. Squidge on that more durable hard tyre, but surely it's not going to matter. He's not a long way to go. He went for a bit more endurance. Was he maybe collected a little bit by Holman there? As here we go then. DRS not enabled on this lap. Matty's going to go as defensive as he can, but Tess is just going to have the slipstream. He's just going to have the grip to outbrake Matty potentially into turn 1. Lock up for Matty Adam. He's now counting on those mediums going off incredibly fast, but DRS is available and ERS is enabled as well. Here we go then. Matty has fought this one so hard, but in the end that 10-second time penalty will be costly. Tess storms away into the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. For now, maybe, as much as it pains me to, or as much as it pains a racer to me to say this, it'd be better for Matty as well to maybe even allow Squidge an opportunity at Tess and just take the P3. Matty though, P2 so far every single race, but right now at risk of losing a podium. Squidge and Holman and Noah, Jamar as well, right on his tail. 1.3 seconds already is the gap, and Tess is running away with this. Here we go then. Squidge gonna be next to line up. Matty Adam 98 under the safety car restart. Matty, he made a call. It turned out to be catastrophically the wrong one. Here goes Squidge through for P2 on the race, on the track. Tess, after this race, might have a big advantage in the championship. Holman has come through for P3 on track as well. Noah will be next along to have a go at the McLaren. Jamar is not far behind as well, and this might be a relatively low points finish in the end for Matty. What looked to be a win for so long at this Grand Prix, now turning out to be a disaster. So here we go then. Tess has run away with this, 1.4 seconds ahead of Squidge, who's just starting to catch him, but only 3 laps remaining at the end of this one. Holman right now running in a podium position. Might he even try to get a P2 away from Squidge here? We'll wait and see. Has the pace to right now, looking at Noah and Jamer on the back of Matty Adam. Matty needs this P4 for the Constructors or for the Drivers' Championship as well. Can't be understated. Noah not going to do him any favors here. Down the inside into the center S's. Locks up a little bit, but he'll have that done under traction with DRS defensively, on the next straight as well, I believe. No DRS for Noah. No DRS for Matty either. But Noah maintains that position, and Jamar now all over the back of that McLaren. Holman right now looking to be the first to break that podium lockout of the year. Test then, 1.6 seconds worth of advantage. He is running away with this in a way that he has done most races this season when he's gotten out in front. Squidge, he's doing everything he can. 2 laps to go. He's not going to be able to catch him. Holman, P3, is going to be able to hang on. 1.8 seconds down to Noah 48. Now is Jamar going to be able to have a go at Matty 98 there. Those hard tyres not working optimally, but they're getting into a groove just ever so slightly now that the mediums are starting to scrub in. He's gotten up the temperature now, Matty, as well. Those first couple of laps were the hardest ones. Holman right on the back, actually, of Squidge 2017, who's trying to fight for a championship here. He's not going to be wanting one of the Saubers to get past him. Not involved in the championship battle at all. Squidge is going to be deploying everything he has down these last couple of straights to make sure he stays in P2. As Jamar not quite able to get past the McLaren as of yet. Djokovic is P7. Is he going to be able to pounce? Keep in mind, Iwat, with that 10-second time penalty for some sort of a yellow flag infringement, might well be removed after the race as well. Djokovic, 3-second time penalty. That's going to be costly, though. That is going to be very, very costly. Wilco, after being nowhere for the entirety of this Grand Prix, has made his way into the points and might finish in a solid 7th place here if he plays his cards right. Max and Luna might just be able to pick up a points finish as well. As for the fastest lap point right now, that is belonging to A33 BT for Racing Bull's first points of the year. You would imagine that is going to stick. 1 lap to go as we are entering lap 36 out of 36. Holman versus Squidge. Is Holman going to be able to wrestle his way to a P2 here? He'll have one more shot to do. It's down this straight, but I believe Squidge might just have him covered. Red light flashing, charging up his battery, but Squidge just too far ahead for Holman to do anything about it. Matty is getting past Noah 48 to just recover a little bit of pride in this Brazilian Grand Prix, and that's an overtake that was so crucial. Noah unable to defend it. It wasn't a podium for Matty, but he recovered well there to get by Noah as well, and that could prove crucial come the end of the season. The streak will end at, I believe, 5 or 6 races in heartbreaking fashion for Matty Adam. Tess got an opportunity. He boxed while Matty was unable to, and it was absolutely the right call. For the 3rd race in a row, for the 2nd feature race in a row, Tess crowns himself a race winner once again in NEF1. On his 20th, he wins, sporting the number 20. Tess, with the birthday present of the year, wins the Brazilian Grand Prix with Squidge in 2nd and Holman in 3rd. On the standings, Noah classifies in 4th with Jamar in 5th, Wilco in 6th, followed by Djokovic in 7th, Max in 8th, Matty in 9th place at the moment, followed by Luna in 10th. Keep in mind, Iwat's then with a 10-second time penalty unserved as well will be investigated after the race. Both Matty and Iwat's might have 10-second time penalties removed. We shall wait and see. But what can be disputed without a shadow of a doubt is that the podium streak is broken, and Matti finishes out of the podium for the first time this season. Holman recovers beautifully and takes his first and Sauber's first podium of the year. As we have someone in the comments there saying, I hope it gets removed for Matti. Most likely it will be. I'd be surprised if not, seeing how he's played that one. I think he expects it to. Usually, from what I could see with that incident, it looks likely it'll be removed as well. Make sure to follow us on TikTok and on Instagram at New Era Esport. I'll keep you updated on the final race results there as well. That's at New Era Esports on both TikTok and on Instagram for further updates. Right now, we say congratulations to Tess on a very, very solidified championship challenge and what could be one of the definitive moments of the season. Wow, what a race, what a drive from Tess. Once again, second win of the year after a very, very unlucky start to the season. Tess has recovered beautifully. He leads the championship now by a healthy margin over Squidge 2017 and Matti in third place. Our non-finishers were Darstyle, Recon and Ray, who we lost on the opening lap. Holman with his first podium of the season. We say congratulations to him. And I believe that fastest lap point went to Mr. A33BT as well. So congratulate Racing Bulls on their first points of the year. Right now, one race to go until we go on a bit of a Christmas break. So make sure to join us then, as I've actually got a look at what track we're doing, because I know hold on. We are heading to Miami for next week's race. Usually it provides a very, very good league race, not so much as an actual Grand Prix even. But should be one of the better races on the calendar, if nothing else. So make sure to join us then. It always pops up with a little bit of controversy, a little bit of drama. We'll be back in 7 days' time in Miami for round 4 of the NEF1 Championship for the final round before the holiday season. Make sure to join us then 9 p.m. at New Era Esports on both YouTube and Twitch. Make sure to follow us on TikTok and on Instagram as well. We'll see you in 7 days' time. Until then, have a good one, stay safe, and peace out.